say you sit around and you judge too soon or too quickly, but you look at the behavior.
That's right.
When the word describes how we should walk, everybody that walks according to the word is of God. There ain't no deception on that part. The deception come in when you don't do what God said. You try to pretend or you try to mimic those that are obedient. Isn't that right? This is where deception come in. Listen to the book.
Whosoever doeth not righteousness
Is what?
is not of God.
You can't judge people by what they do because only God knows their heart. What's in your heart is manifest.
That's right.
Why do you think he gave us this description or this depiction? So you can identify people to know whether they are of God or not. Listen to the book.
Neither he that loveth not his brother.
Is what?
For this is the message
Listen, this is the message.
that ye heard from the beginning.
This is the same thing you heard from the beginning when you go back to deal with Cain and Abel. This was back during the beginning. This is what he said.
That we should love one another.
We should love one another. Listen.
Not as Cain.
Whoa, why would he bring him up?
Amen.
Not as Cain who did what?
Who was of that wicked one.
Who was of the wicked one. This is why people get stupidity kick in here with preaching. No, they say he was of the wicked one. You know what this just said? This meant the devil had sex with Eve and that was his child. No, hold you got to give me St. John 8:44.
Amen.
That's why I tell don't listen to these stupid preachers.
That's right.
If you're going to use that terminology because the Bible said who was of the wicked one, then the Bible said we are of God. Does that mean God slept with your mama?
No.
Then how did you come up with that the devil slept with Eve? This is stupidity.
That's right.
This is Bible ignorance.
Amen.
Make sure they take making that seminary church get my degree. He's trying to finalize. Yeah, way to get through. Well, don't finalize now. Listen to the book. This is St. John 8:44. Listen to the book.
You are of your father.
The who?
You are of your father, the devil.
Listen what happened. You're of your father. We talk about a father is a begotter, a starter or something. So you're of your father. He's the one responsible for your behavior. Sexually, the father determines the sex. He's the starter. When a woman becomes pregnant, that's why you got a father. She bears, the father begots. He begets. You follow me? So when you commit sin, this is your father. Isn't that right?
That's right.
So when he said, even as Cain, back over to, here he said, you're of your father.
The devil.
And?
The lust of your father ye will do.
So when Cain slew his brother, it identified whether he was of God or not.
Yes.
That's why he said he was of the wicked one.
Yes.
The same one you're of when you commit sin.
That's right.
When you trespass God's commandment, you don't have two fathers. You only have one when it comes down to your spiritual behavior.
Amen.
Even naturally in life, one begot you, another one can raise you. There are a lot of people say, I have a stepfather, but that's not the person that begot me.
That's right.
Isn't that right? God is our creator, but he's not everybody's father. When you're not obedient, he's not your father.
That's right.
He's just the begotter starter. You've been raised by somebody. That's why he said you're of your father.
The devil.
And the lust
of your father ye will do.
You have the same DNA makeup of the devil. Listen why.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
Why you think the Bible revert back to tell you about Cain, who was of the wicked one? Because he showed the same characteristic. He was a murderer.
From the beginning.
And he abode?
Not in the truth.
Listen why.
Because there is no truth in
You know what's going to be hard? We have a Smith family reunion, and you son a Jones child over there, and he try to exhibit Smith behaviors. Can't, don't have the genes.
That's right.
You know how some families have traits where all of them look alike? I know a guy used to be a friend of mine. He had a family trait. Everyone, you can look here rather anyway. You say, I know who you related to. You can just tell they had that look. It was no way I could fit in and try to mimic and look like these people. I didn't have the makeup. So therefore, you have the same makeup of the devil. That's why you're going to have the same behavior. That's why it's going to revert right back to tell you who was like Cain, who was of the wicked one, who had the behavior, who exemplified the characteristic of the devil. Every time you sin, every time you transgress, every time you go against God's law, you identify this is your spiritual leader.
Yes, sir.
Listen.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
And he did what?
Abode not in the truth.
Why you think Cain killed his brother? He had no choice. Who he served had the same characteristics and behavior. Listen.
Because there is no truth in him. When
he had no genes of God inside of him. He had no makeup. The DNA makeup that a saint should have, we take the Bible here. We swab you. When the word is preached, it's going to show what's in your heart. Not so much what's in your mouth, but it's going to swab the heart.
Yes, sir.
That's why in the Acts of the Apostle chapter 2, at verse 36, when he said, therefore let all the house of Israel know assuredly that God had made that same Jesus whom you crucified, both Lord and Christ. Verse 37, now when they heard this,
They were pricked in their heart.
once it's preached, once you swab them with the word,
Yes.
it's going to show who you're made of.
Yes, sir.
It's going to show your behavior. It's going to show who you're begotten of.
That's right. Yes,
Listen
sir.
to the book.
When he speaketh a lie,
He got it from a movie.
he speaketh of his own.
Professional liar. Listen.
For he is a liar,
And the what?
father of it.
So when you commit sin, you show characteristics of the man that started lying.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that right? You show the same characteristic of the first liar.
Yes, sir.
Or the first murderer. Let's go to First Epistle of John chapter 3. Where you at? Verse 11, 12. Let them get it. First Epistle. Y'all all right today?
Amen. Yes,
I
sir.
was going another way, but the word of God is right.
Yes,
That's why I
sir.
tell you, folks, you kill time in these schools.
Yes, sir.
By the time they teach these folks how to sit down and prepare a message and how to flip-flop and make a fool out of themselves, take one passage of scripture and told you a whole bunch of garbage don't even line up with the book.
That's right.
We can stay with the book and see how it started.
That's right.
If you do right, just like John said, he that does righteous is righteous even as he is right.
Yes, sir.
He that commits sin is of.
The devil.
Then it go back to refer to Cain. Listen to verse 12.
Not as Cain.
Not as Cain. Give me verse 11.
Amen.
Listen.
For this is the message
For this is the message
that ye heard from the beginning.
that you heard from the
That
beginning.
we should love one another.
We should love one another. Listen, why?
Not as Cain,
Not as Cain,
who was of that wicked one,
and did what?
and slew his brother.
Uh-huh.
And wherefore slew he him?
And wherefore slew he him.
Because his own works were evil.
Why do you think people will hate you? That's why you'll find different behavior that's characterized in the 5th chapter of the book of Galatians. At verse 13, he began to talk about if you bite and devour one another, take heed lest you be consumed one of another. He's not talking about the world against the church. He's talking about the church against the church. Because if you start to bite and devour one another, guess what? You're going to be just like Cain. Now, what's going to happen? Emulation going to set in. Sedition going to set in. Covenant is going. That's why these things become a sin, because his own works were evil. It was easy for him to find fault in his brother Abel instead of looking at himself. Seeing his brother's works were righteous and seeing his own works were sin. Y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
I'm not
Amen.
talking to Swahili today.
No, sir. No, sir.
That's why the people got to be taught. That's why you got to look at how imperative these behaviors. There's no way the church can exist. Pick me up at Galatians 5 and 13. Matter of fact, give me 5 and 7 first. This is why you have so much error today when it comes down to churches, because they're not bringing the people back to the book. You can't be perfect without the scripture and without the message. He didn't say this then is the scripture, this then is the message. Why? Because the epistle letters are messages.
Amen.
They are letters.
That's right.
When it comes to correction, use the scripture.
Yes, sir. Amen.
These people are error.
Yes,
He
sir.
couldn't have said this then is the scripture. It had to be the message because this is an epistle.
Yes, sir.
Listen to the book.
Galatians 5 and 7.
Listen.
He did run well.
What stops you? At one time, listen, he abode not. In order for you to abode, that means you've been somewhere.
Yes, sir.
How am I tell you to stay here? You never been here.
That's right.
A lot of people have that testimony. I used to believe that. I used to walk like that. I used to serve like that. But you abode not in the truth. You show the same characteristic of who? Hold you got Revelation 12 and I think about 1.
Yes, sir.
Why he used the terminology he abode not in the truth? Revelation chapter 12, thinking about verse 1. I had to jump down about 7. Let's see. Listen to the book.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven,
Uh-huh.
a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Come on.
And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth.
Jump down about verse 7.
Amen.
That's what I want. Might be 9. This is 9. There was war in heaven. Verse 9?
That's 7.
Verse 7. Okay,
Amen.
verse 7. I ain't too rusty. Come on.
And there was war in heaven.
There was war in heaven.
Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
We talked about archangels. Y'all remember that?
Amen.
Word arch. These are angels of authority. Every angel don't have the same position. You have Gabriel. When you go to the book of Daniel, you'll find that Gabriel appeared to talk to Daniel. When you find when Mary was pregnant, you will not find that Michael went. Michael was the warrior angel. That's right. You'll find Gabriel went messenger angel. People, they dumb. They don't know the difference. Any angel ain't no any angel doing no anything. Every angel have position.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Now, when there was war in heaven, Michael and who?
And his angels.
It makes sense. Don't send no messenger to fight nobody.
That's
Send
right.
the fighter.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Now that was war in heaven. And what happened?
Michael and his angels
Did what?
fought against the dragon.
Uh-huh.
And the dragon